Hello everybody, I'm here with my student Jaelen, and the reason I want to interview her because I realize she's from Canada. Yeah. And then like I'm from Asia, so when people in our area, we always believe Canada and America, they are so similar, but then looks like you have some different perspective. You want to share with us? And first of all, why you decide to come to America for your college?
I always really wanted to play collegiate athletics. So
Okay.
I really wanted to either play softball. Well, originally it was baseball until obviously girls can't play on the baseball team.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
I wanted to play either softball or volleyball. So
Okay.
I came down and I got a scholarship.
Okay.
So I knew I always wanted to come to the States because in Canada we don't have certain sports have college athletics.
Okay.
Like have the teams in university, but a lot of the sports don't, or if they do, it's like a kind of a pay-to-play model, so it's not really like you don't get scholarship money, you don't
really? Okay.
like if you pay to be on the team, you're pretty much on the team for the most part.
They cannot be student and
Yeah, so it's a lot different. There's not as much competition, there's not as many teams, it's not as competitive. So I really wanted to come down to the States to do that, and I also just wanted to experience it because I played softball in the States a lot.
Okay.
So I wanted to know what it was like to live down in the States.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you decided in your high school, which year?
Well, I knew for a very long time that I wanted to play college athletics just because my mom always said to me and my brothers that you shouldn't try to go pro, if that's where you're meant to be, that's where you'll end up, but you should always try and go to university and play sports because you can get an education which will last you a lot longer than just playing the sport, and the chances of you actually going to a professional league is so small.
Yeah.
So I knew for a very long time, but I really got serious about looking into coming down to the States in about grade 10, I guess, so my sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
And in my junior year of high school, I actually had a knee injury. So I'm actually supposed to be a sophomore this year.
Okay.
I'll be 20 right away.
Okay.
But I had a knee injury in my junior year of high school, so I took an extra year after high school and just to kind of do more recruiting because I had options to go to university, but I didn't want to just go somewhere to go somewhere. I wanted to find a fit.
Wow.
And then the pandemic happened, so that was first. So I didn't commit to this university until March of this year, which was very late.
Wow.
But I still got a scholarship, so
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here.
Wow.
Yeah, and I took a leap of faith because I never visited the school before I got here. So the day I moved in was the first time I
The
saw
first
university.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
First time I was in Ohio.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about culture shock.
I wouldn't say culture shock as much for me coming from Canada. There's a few different things.
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest thing is more diversity than what I grew up with.
Okay.
With going into just different ethnic backgrounds and different people of color. There's not as many where I'm from. There is it obviously didn't change. It's just differently with coming from a place where it's you're the majority of the population to somewhere where it's a lot more mixed. We are very culturally diverse, but not so much at the younger ages. I would say we have a lot more of we are very more culturally diverse in the adult ages. I would say we have a lot more immigrants that are adults versus younger age students. So it's not as there's not as many people, and then just a biggest thing is everybody me being from Canada and not a lot of people knowing Canadians. They have the typical stereotype in their head of oh, do you do this, this, and this? It's no. We don't. I don't ride moose, I don't ride polar bears, and I don't live in an igloo, so but yeah.
So diversity is one culture shock. Then in terms of lifestyle, do you see the difference between Canadian and
I would say everybody's very shocked. Everybody's oh, you're so polite, oh, you're from Canada, and I guess we get that rep of oh, we're the nice ones and we say sorry a lot, but that's a big thing down here. Even before I was coming, my dad upped all my insurances and stuff in case I got sued for if there was a car accident or anything like that, he upped that, and I'm that's not even something that you would really think about at home unless you're a crazy person would see somebody, but that's not very not a very big thing at home versus like everything down here people sue about,
Okay.
which is like very different for us. And then I'd say a lot of it is just like the food,
Yeah.
portion size.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, oh yeah, Canada's or like the U.S. has like bigger
Yeah.
portions. Yeah, they do.
Bigger?
They definitely, yeah. Yeah, and it's a
Okay.
lot cheaper down here for like fast food and stuff like that versus it is at home. Everything's cheaper down here, but especially like food wise, like it costs a whole lot less to like eat fast food down here than it would at home.
Wow. So for the portion and the price
Mhm.
is bigger but cheaper
Yeah.
here. Wow. I don't think you gain weight.
A little bit, probably a little bit of the freshman 15. Well, more like freshman like 8, but
Yeah. Yeah. And then in terms of interaction, people interaction, do you see the different?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess that kind of comes back down to like how a lot of these people grew up.
Yeah.
Whether they had like a good home life or not,
Yeah.
is very different because like at home there's not like a lot of, I don't want to say like gangs and that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but there's not as much of that like, I don't want to say like low income side of things. We don't have as much of that.
Okay.
So, or if we do, it's not as like separated. Like you can't tell like as well that like, oh, that person's family is like low income, because they do a lot, especially like in our education system, is like at the younger ages,
Yeah.
instead of you like having like your parents buy your own pencil case, like everybody in the class gets the exact same pencil case, the exact same marker,
really?
like whatever, and they just have to put their name on. Like there'll be different colors, but
Oh.
that's it. So we get like everybody gets like a plastic pencil case
Really?
that like stays in your desk, and it's all the same. So then you can't have like, oh, so and so has like
Oh.
this fancy one, and then this little kid doesn't have
Okay.
anything, kind of thing. So they kind of help try to do that, unless you're in like more of the private schools, but
Okay.
all our public
So
schools are
public
like that.
school actually offer the school supply.
Yeah.
So everybody will be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So you not able to differentiate the
Yeah.
family background. Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, so in the future, if you need to choose home, do you choose live there or here?
I haven't quite decided yet. I would say probably not Ohio. I probably wouldn't live in Ohio
Yeah.
in the future.
But in
It's just
United
really far
States.
away.
Yeah,
But
okay.
if I was gonna live in the States, I'd probably live somewhere where it's warm all year round,
Okay.
like Arizona or California.
Canada already
Yeah.
too cold. So
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
already
need another
cold. So if I'm
cold.
gonna live far away from home, I might as well live somewhere where I'm gonna really enjoy it. Otherwise, I'll probably end up, at least right after high school, I'll be back in Canada, or after college, I'll be back in Canada.
So when you are go home, you are going home very soon.
Yeah,
And then what one thing you tell people about Ohio, what are they going to say?
there's a lot of corn.
Okay.
There's a lot of corn.
In the middle
I
of
don't
the
know. I feel like I
cornfield.
haven't had a great experience
About
of like
Ohio.
knowing about Ohio just
Yeah.
because of the pandemic. Too.
Yeah.
Like I haven't got to like go out and do a lot of things that you normally would be able
Yeah.
to do, just because like one, everything's closed, or
Yeah.
like two, you don't want
Yeah.
to take the chance of like
Yeah.
getting COVID and then
Yeah.
having to not play sports and not go to school, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I feel like it's kind of been a lot of just, you know, staying on campus and like going to like my one teammate's house, but other than that, not a whole lot of
Okay.
like experiences. So
So-
that's a hard one.
So because late, so are you excited to see what future in Ohio going to bring to you?
Yeah, I am for sure. Like I'm excited. I really want to like go, and I only went down to Columbus, and I wouldn't even say I was really in Columbus for
Yeah.
like one day. It was like
Okay.
a couple hours.
Okay.
And other than that, I haven't really gone anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to like, once it comes back and things kind of open up
Yeah.
and it's like easier to travel, to like go drive to Cleveland and drive to Cincinnati and drive around, like see the different places to actually like get an experience of
Yeah,
it.
get to know Amish. We have Amish.
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So this actually because it's your first semester
Mhm.
and then everything's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So then, if one thing you want to tell people about Canada, if people say,
One thing that
Yeah.
always shocks people
yeah,
is our money.
yeah,
So our money, I wish I would have brought some with me.
yeah.
Our money is like plastic, so you can't like, you could rip it if you tried hard
Really?
enough, but like you can't. So it doesn't like get wrecked, and it's waterproof. So like if you spill on it or whatever,
It's
like,
still okay.
it stays okay. Or like if you
Okay.
put it through the wash, it's fine.
Okay.
And all of our money is like different colors. So everybody says like, oh, Monopoly money, but like
Yeah.
our $20 bills are green, our 10s are purple, our 5s are blue or something like that, or 50s are red, and
Yeah.
100s are brown.
Yeah.
So like when you look at money in your wallet or like
Yeah.
in your hand, you can see how much you have right away.
Okay.
Versus like for me, when I come down here,
Yeah.
I can look so rich, but it's
Yeah.
all just $1.
Just $1.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're all like crinkly. You can't
Yeah.
tell, or you like accidentally pull out like a dollar bill, but you
Yeah.
need a 20, or like
Yeah.
opposite, or you actually hand somebody 20 when you're paying for like
It's
$3 worth of
interesting.
stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a big one, and like we don't have dollar bills. We have loonies, which are like a dollar coin,
Okay.
and then we have toonies, which are
Okay.
$2 coins. So like the looney's called a loony because there's like a loon, which is a bird
Okay.
that's like on it,
Okay.
and then the toonie they just kept it easy and said
Okay.
toonie $2. So
And then about English, because Canada and America, they all speak English. Did you
Mhm.
see like any way you see the difference when people use the language?
yeah, I get teased a lot, especially by my
Uh-huh.
teammates of
Yeah.
like just this different like slang words that I
Yeah.
say, and I notice like things, and then like we always say to our coach, to like one of my coaches from the States,
Yeah.
and we always said like bag, lag, and tag,
Okay.
and he's like, no, it's bag, lag, and tag. We're like,
Okay.
no, it's bag, lag, and tag. Like it's
Okay.
like just the way you pronounce things is different.
Yeah.
Also like I
Yeah.
say things like, oh, I'm gonna rip to Walmart. Do you want to come with me?
Yeah.
And they're like, what did you just say to me? And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna rip to Walmart. Do you want to come? They're
Yeah.
like, what? I'm like, do you want to come with me to Walmart? I'm going to Walmart.
Oh.
And they're like, that is definitely not what I thought you were asking. Like, I don't know what you were saying there, but
Yeah.
it's just like, I'm just gonna quickly go to Walmart. Do you want to come? Like, that's all I was trying to say. So like, it's just different things, and like how people pronounce things is very different. Like, I always get told too, it's like, oh, you're from Canada, like right away when I start talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you know that? And they're like, well, I can tell by your accent. I'm like, I feel like I sound the exact same way
Yeah.
as you. Like, I
Yeah.
don't feel like all of us have a different like
Yeah.
accent. We all
Yeah.
talk differently.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, how do you pick me up? Like when I'm watching
Yeah.
TV, I can't go like, oh, they're from Canada, they're
Yeah.
from America,
Yeah.
unless they have like obviously like a hard
Yeah.
Southern accent or like New Jersey or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can't tell like just the average person. I'm like, I sound the same as everybody on TV. They're like, no. I'm like, you're weird. Like I don't know how you do.
Are you
it's
guys
just,
more
like, same.
follow the British English or the American English? Or Canada
I
English?
think we're more. I don't know. That's hard. I'd say we're more like a British English, but not so
Exactly.
much. Yeah, like we have our own kind of like slang terms and like how you like say things in like different words. But our base and like we follow British English when it comes to like spelling and stuff like
Okay.
that. So like I always get made fun because like I spell. It was really hard for me actually in English
Yeah.
because I spell a lot of things like behavior.
Yeah,
is with a
behavior.
U.
Yeah.
Or colors with a U, like it's
Oh.
COLOUR,
Oh,
not
yeah,
just R.
yeah.
So I'd have to like I'd be typing or like I'd hand things in, she'd be like,
Yeah.
you spelt this wrong. It's
Yeah.
like my computer automatically changes it to with a U.
Oh.
So I'd have to like go through and make sure I'm not spelling everything
Oh,
wrong.
yeah. Okay. So
like,
that is different.
Yeah, it's
How
just
about center?
yeah, that's different.
Right,
Like
that's
we
different.
ours is like CENTRER.
Right?
Yeah, like it's like it's has the E at the end instead of like
yeah,
ER.
because when I read the textbook, sometimes they spell like your way.
Yeah.
And sometimes they spell kind of like.
Sometimes and like theater, like
Yeah.
theater spelled
Yeah.
that way too, like
Yeah.
THEATRE instead of ER. That comes more from like the French side of things.
Okay.
That's where it like kind of originates from because
Yeah.
French is our second language, not
Yeah,
Spanish.
because Canada is very diverse.
Mhm.
So you are in the very north side of Canada?
No, so I'm the southern part of Canada, but I'm on like the west side. So I'm above Montana.
Okay.
So I'm about 6 hours north of the border at Montana.
Montana. Okay,
Yeah.
so more like not Toronto, another big city.
So Calgary, Alberta, which is like right where I'm from. Like I'm from YYC.
Oh, okay.
So that'd be like the biggest center once you like cross the border in Alberta, and then there's Edmonton. So like
Okay.
Calgary Flames, Edmonton
Okay.
Oilers, like in hockey.
Yeah.
And then in Saskatchewan, you kind of go over Regina, Winnipeg,
Yeah.
and then you go into like Ottawa, Ontario,
Yeah.
Toronto.
Did you
that's
see
it.
a lot of Canadian here?
I saw a couple. I figured out actually more like the baseball team. There's a couple guys that are from like right where I'm from that I
Okay.
didn't know.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. But other than that, there is only like a couple on the lacrosse team that I know of, but not very many.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And so many things I need to learn from you, but then looks like we have to go to the next class.
Yeah.
So thank you very
Yes,
much
thank you so
to
much.
share with us about your culture.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you for everybody listen, and I'm glad I have a chance to talk to my student and wish you the best.
Yes, you as well. I hope you have an awesome holidays.
You too. So and come to see me.
I will. I will.
Yeah.
I promise.